Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. Welcome back to a Division 2 video, and the new global event Corrosive Shell is here, and it is insanely strong and a lot of fun to play around with. I have a few tips and tricks for you today, and of course a beautiful build to use. So what is Corrosive Shell? Corrosive Shell is the new global event activating in the Division 2. We of course, just like every other event, have to activate this, and then the enemies will have a corrosive shield around them, aka the purple fire from Brooklyn. So if you never fought the Battle of Brooklyn, this will be a new status effect for you, as this will be the purple corrosive flames. If you get that on you, you will hurt yourself. So don't get too close to the enemies. We thought that the run and gun builds would be very good, but I would recommend you to stay away from it, as you want to stay a little outside of the range of their explosion, or whenever you add a status effect to someone, their corrosive shield will explode. And that's how we can counter these enemies. We only have to apply a status effect. We can do that throughout our skills. We can do that throughout open world objects, like shooting a special ammo case. You will add that status effect to someone, and you will have 6 seconds to take him out. As the enemy is then set on fire for 6 seconds, when you take them out in that window of 6 seconds, when they are on fire, we're getting an insane buff of 50% weapon damage, 25% RPM, 25% status effect, and 50% reload speed. This will last for 20 seconds, but whenever you take another corrosive shell enemy out in between, you will refresh this buff. And that's why we can just shred through everything, doing millions of crit shots while we are on a base build. This build does not go into prototype. This build does not go high in their expertise. It's only the base of 13 that everyone and their dog can easily achieve. The enemies have an opportunity to get it back. Like I mentioned, when you apply a status effect, they will catch fire for 6 seconds. When you don't take them out within those 6 seconds, the corrosive shell will regenerate 15 seconds after the additional shell melt time. And this timer includes the time they spent on fire. So the moment they catch on fire, take them out. If they stay alive, they only need an extra 9 seconds past that to get that corrosive shell again. Not really a big problem, as we just have to put a status effect on the enemy again. And we have the perfect build for it, that you will always be applying a status effect without even having to use your skills. So without further ado, enough gameplay, enough intro, enough explanation about the new GE. Let's dive right into the build. And as usual, let's start with our specialization. We're utilizing the minigun. This will give us a 50% reload faster on our third reload. And of course, we're getting a 10% armor on kill. You can also use the Banshee Pulse, as this will also apply a status effect for you. Then jumping over to the weapons, or better said, weapon, and that is the Lexington, or at least the Lexington that I am using. I only have it on expertise level 13, so you can only hit harder. This is the base expertise. At 14, we need to use our exotic components, so I brought it up to 13 to give you the opportunity to do even more damage. Next to that, you can go for whatever you like. I have a stack broker, and then of course for my pistol, I have the quick step. Why the quick step? Because if we switch over, we will get that sports mode that will let us be 20% faster. This is definitely coming in clutch a lot of time, especially if you're running around within retaliation or in the open world. I love this quick step. You can also go for your secondary and your pistol for something that you don't have proficient yet. as that will save you some materials and or duplicates to donate. When we go back to Lexington, we have damage to target out of cover on there, and of course we go for this talent Sadist. Amplify weapon damage by 30% to bleeding enemies. After 4 kills, applies a bleed to the next enemy you hit. And this will almost always be active. We're shooting at people that have that corrosive shell, and we are doing our bleed damage itself. It is such a great combination and so incredibly easy to keep up. I think OD might be the best setup to use within this new event, as you could run and gun, but you're gonna set yourself on fire. So going for OD in combination with, for example, this AR build, or you could go as well for an LMG setup, and not much changes. If you don't have the Lexington, don't worry, the ARs are pretty balanced. There's only a 5% difference in damage in the top 7 ARs. So if you don't have the Lexington, I will pop a list on the screen right now. And these are the top 7 ARs that you could use, and this is all according to their base damage values. So if you don't have the Lexington, you can choose one of these and still shred through enemies, but as you see, there is a -1 mod on the F2000 and the Honey Badger. When we go into a full build, the F2000 and the Honey Badger will fall off. So this will be the top 5 of ARs, with the Lexington on number 1, FAMAS FAL CTAR P416. Choose wisely, shred through your enemies. And then of course the overview of the build. We are going for ongoing directive, what I already kinda told you earlier, and we're going for 2 pieces of the new Royal Works brand set. Why are we choosing for the Royal Works brand set? Because this will give us weapon handling, but most importantly, that second brand set bonus will give us 32% magazine size. And that gives us the opportunity to utilize an AR on an OD build and not having to use our skills that much to keep the OD alive. It is almost always alive. You don't really have to work for it. Second piece of Royal Works to, of course, then activate our 32% magazine size will then be our backpack. As you can see, we went for Wicked on there. Why Wicked? Applying a status effect increase the total weapon damage by 18% for 20 seconds. Vigilance will give us more damage, but Wicked is always here. And that's what we like about OD, just completely free. You don't have to stack. When you shoot, it's instantly there. Doesn't matter what type of gun you use, doesn't matter what you shoot with. This will always be there. Yes, it's lower. It's only 18% versus the 25% of vigilance. But like I mentioned, this is always there. And that's what we're trying to create. A quick and easy way to pump out your damage. As you can see, my backpack has headshot damage and critical hit damage. But preferably you want a crit chance attribute on there, so we can put another 12% critical hit damage mod on that backpack. Then of course, jumping over to the rest, that will be OD, ongoing directive. You want to go for the chest piece. And why? Because this will amplify our damage to 50%. All the way from 20, an easy 30% amplification damage, and that's why this is so incredible. Again, we went for critical hit chance or critical hit damage is rolled on there. And why is ongoing directive so nice, especially with this event as well, is rules of engagements. Shooting a status affected enemy will apply a mark. Killing a marked enemy grants you a full clip of hollow point ammo for your active weapon and half of a clip of the agent's active weapon for the rest of the party. Marks last 10 seconds. Hollow point ammo amplifies weapon damage by 20% and applies bleed on hit. Because of the chest piece, this will now be 50%. Your teammates, because yes, you're also buffing your teammates will quote unquote only receive that 20% amplification damage, but next to making yourself so incredibly powerful, if you're with a team, you're also gonna buff them up. Again, we're going for critical hit chances and critical hit damages on everything. Just make sure to hit around that 55% crit chance and then stack everything into critical hit damage. And that is pretty much the whole overview of the build. Quick and easy. I went for my foam launcher. Again, because we are running around with the gunner specialization, you can also go for the Banshee Pulse. The Banshee Pulse will disorient people. That is also a status effect, but I just like to foam people down. And if you're solo, of course, go for the Revive Hive. This will give you an extra chance of a life. If you're running around in the open world or even doing some retaliations, this definitely comes in clutch. Then for the stats, if we scroll down, you see I have a 55% critical hit chance and a 105% critical hit damage. And that is pretty much everything. And of course, this all gets boosted by the event, and that's why the combination of the AR OD, or better said, the combination of OD, if you want to go AR or even rifle or even go for LMGs, I think that is the way to go, and you only getting stronger throughout this event. Hit me up in the comments down below if you like this build. Are you playing around with this as well? Do you prefer to go on the rifle and or the LMG side on OD, or are you completely utilizing something else? I would love to hear your opinion in the comments down below. And man, I like this event. It is a lot of fun. And after so many years getting a complete new GE and giving us this amount of damage, it is a lot of fun to play with. Again, hit me up in the comments down below what your opinion is. That's it. Thank you very much for sticking until the end. Like the video if you liked the video or helped you out in any way or form. If you're new here and or you want to be updated by the Division 2, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And I will see you in the next one. Pure Prime out.